What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Pure Evil MMA. I'm your host, as always, and that is not me. I'm your host, as always, Evil Eddie, and I might even just wear the glasses for this one because last night was one hell of a rager here at Pure Evil MMA Studios. I mean, what makes a good fight night? You know, you can break it down to the cards, but like when it comes down to the entertainment aspect, if you're not there for a live event, you gotta have, your boys over. You gotta have some music going, some beers, some girls, some coffee. Maybe not the coffee, but honestly, guys, we had almost all of that going on here last night. We had jam sessions going on because my boys, I don't know about you guys, but a lot of my friends, fuck, I gotta stop this and restart it now because the fucking speaker's gonna be fucked. I know it. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me just do this. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Pure Evil MMA. Take 2 on this recap show here that we got going on. And let me just make sure that the audio is up and running. We are live right now. On this recap show here that we got going on. And let me just make sure that the audio is up and running. We are live. All right, cool. Because sometimes the audio mic will actually be, it will make my voice sound super low and just all weird and fucked up. And it really pisses me off. But let's jump head first into what went down last night. We are going to be rating last night's card out of 10. We're going to be getting to that at the end of the show because we are going to be reliving some of the best and worst and awkward moments that happened and went down last night in Argentina. Now, right off the bat, I got to say, subscribe down below here on YouTube, iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify, Player FM, wherever you're listening to this or watching it. But we do these recap shows live. We resurrected the recap show last week for Yair versus Korean Zombie, and that was one of the best times. If you ever are going to bring back a recap show, that was the time. So it's only right to keep this going. We got a whole bunch of views last time, over 1,000 downloads last week. We're about to break 2,000 downloads in the past 30 days just on Podbean. So thank you guys so much for that. If you are a new listener here, subscribe down below. Follow me on social media at evil_echo on Twitter. That's EVIL_ECCO. Also on the gram. Do it for the gram. On Instagram at Pure Evil MMA_. So let's jump into last night's fights. Neil Magny versus Ponzinibbio. First off, Ponzinibbio, so underrated over the past years. Last night, his 7th win. Now, going into it, Neil Magny, man, someone said it perfectly. He's not that good at one thing, but he's good all around as a fighter. He's a complete package when it comes to, especially at welterweight. There's a bunch of killers, but Ponzinibbio, first thing I said before we even started that fight was watch out for the eye pokes. It seems like immediately, right off the bat, he goes right for the eye. We saw it with Neil Magny, but it was a clear shot, man. I mean, Neil was tapping his eye and stuff, and that will fuck a fighter up. If you can't see, and we saw it in the Darren Elkins fight. He had blood pouring all over himself, and it's hard to see those punches raining down. But I have to say we owe Ponzinibbio a contender shot soon. If he is not in line at welterweight, one of the next couple of guys, he should be in a title eliminator fight next. That's just my honest opinion. 7-fight win streak, finishing guys, beat Gunnar Nelson. Then he goes into, he beats Neil Magny on this one. Let's go to Tapology and let's look back at the past couple of fights that he's had, because there are not many people talking about Ponzinibbio. 27-3 record, guys. That is so impressive. And to go on a 7-fight winning streak inside the UFC is not an easy thing to do. It is not an easy thing to get done. We've seen it happen with Tony Ferguson. When are you going to give Tony Ferguson a title shot? And he finally gets it, and they strip him immediately. So let's take a look back at Ponzinibbio's last couple of fights here. So last night, beating Neil Magny. Before that, Mike Perry. There was a canceled bout that he was supposed to have against Usman. I would have loved to see that one. So before that, Mike Perry, Gunnar Nelson, Nordine Taleb, Zach Cummings, Court McGee. Those are all huge names. Sean Strickland. Getting tougher and tougher. And being Neil Magny, man. Neil Magny is a true vet. I was actually surprised it went to the 4th round. It was pretty brutal to watch. And then as we got towards the 3rd and the 4th, I was like, you know what? Maybe Neil actually has a shot here. The Ponzinibbio's. Oops. if Ponzinibbio is tiring himself out because he's so active in there. His head movement, he's always switching it up. You never know what to expect. But I will say this. I was a little nervous going into this fight because Neil Magny is one of those guys. He doesn't let anything affect him. Whether the crowd's booing at him, whether he's having a shitty week. When it's fight night, he could shock the world. We've seen him do it plenty of times before in the past, where he just comes out of nowhere. He's a tall, lanky guy. I think he had a 7-inch reach advantage on Ponzinibbio last night, and you wouldn't even be able to tell because Ponzinibbio, he's just so active. He looked just as good in the first, the second, and the third round. I'm just blown away by this guy's performance. And taking out somebody like Neil Magny is huge. It's absolutely fucking huge. So shout out to him. But let's talk about one of the favorite fights, because I say this all the time. If your event falls through in the co-main and the main event, where it goes to a decision, or if we don't see a finish in the main and co-main event, it's not going to really leave a mark. And I was definitely fucking nervous after those prelims, because there wasn't much going on. It was decision after decision. Let's take a look at this card here. And there was a lot that stood out. I will say that there was a lot that stood out, especially fucking Johnny Walker. How about Johnny Walker going into this thing like a fucking monster, man? 6'6". That is what the UFC banks on. You're a guy 6'6", and moving the way that this guy moves last night against somebody like what the hell is his name? Why can't I remember this guy's name ever? Where is it? Give it to me. Khalil Roundtree. I mean, Khalil Roundtree, he's had a hard time so far in the UFC, hot and cold, not really giving him the best matchups. He's a striker, though, so I was really excited for this one. Johnny Walker coming into this thing, 15-3 record, man. Holy shit, I was blown away. Give that man. And the funniest part about it, he didn't care about the 50 Gs at the end of the fight. All this guy cared about was getting his character into the video game, which I thought was pretty funny. He definitely reminds me of Verdum a little bit, with like the weird, wacky faces and stuff. Michael Anzalone checking in. What's going on, Anzalone? Kevin from Chicago, RDA set the blueprint, leg kicks. You know what, guys? I know that everyone's like, there's blueprints to be fighters like Cowboys Cerrone. It's a lot harder than it is, but I definitely understand that. Like, if you see holes in a fighter's game and they don't fix it, like Nate Diaz, for instance, he always keeps that lead leg out, and he just gets slaughtered time after time. But I agree with you, man. You got to keep out things like that. Michael Anzalone, not much. What's going on, Kevin? All right, so let's jump right into this. Johnny fucking Walker. If there was one fighter on this entire card that stood out, that I am actually thrilled to see back in there, and I would love to see him in sooner than later, obviously, because you look at people like Cynthia Calvillo, who had an amazing 2016 and 17, and then just kind of disappeared for a little bit. You want to keep that momentum going and building, like Anthony Lionheart-Smith, for instance. He's a true vet. He's had a whole bunch of fights going all the way back to Strikeforce. But once you get that momentum building, you want to ride that horse as long as you can and be very smart about the fights that you pick. This was a huge pickup win for Johnny Walker, because you're taking out somebody like Khalil Roundtree, who we know is a striker. We've seen him get some amazing finishes over, what was his name? Daniel Jolly, with that brutal knee in the first opening seconds. We knew that this was going to be a fight that wasn't going to go to a decision. We weren't going to leave it in the hands of the judges. There was no way that was going to happen. Johnny Walker. I have some good things and some bad things, but all in all, if you mix it all together, I love it, because the good things about this guy, he's a monster. He's 6'6". He's full of muscle. Like, he literally, like, it's so crazy. Like, if you look back 10 years ago and you saw this guy, you'd be like, this guy is taking something. There's no way he's natural. But this guy is fucking ripped. 6'6". That's all you have to say to somebody in the UFC. Like, this guy is just a monster. With that being said, here's my negative thing about it. We kind of saw, like, in the beginning, if you've never seen a Johnny Walker or knew his personality, which was kind of the first time for me, eye-opening, to see this guy in there. He gets kicked in the leg by Khalil. And he does this wacky thing where he's like, oh, no, that didn't hurt. It's like, all right, this guy's a fucking monster. Then he wins the fight, and he starts making all these goofy faces and acting silly. I understand that, like, this is your moment to shine. You're happy. You don't really care. But there's just something in me that really wishes he kept that scary monster attitude. Just like, fucking watch out, everybody. I understand. He's so happy that he got the win. I would probably act the same way, making goofy faces. And just, you work so hard for this. And you get a finish like that. And it's just hilarious how he didn't even want Dana to give him 50 G's. He just wanted to be in the video game. So there's like a little kid aspect to him. But yeah, he's a 6'6" man child. Clearly, he's the man child. It's so funny when you see guys like this who are actually just like really, they're kind of dorky, but they're just fucking a specimen in their own right. 6'6". That's all I can think about with this guy. He's a monster. This guy's a monster. Watch out for Johnny Walker. I reached out to him, tried to get him on the show for tonight. Jordan Hockley. What's going up, Jordan? Shout out to Jordan, pure evil MMA family right there. Give Jordan Hockley's page a follow of all guys. But that's the one guy that definitely stood out to me last night. So let me know what you guys thought about his performance and who you would like to see him fight next. Light heavyweight division. There are some true contenders in that division, man. And Johnny Walker, he will be top 10 by June of next year. Mark my fucking words there. Very, very impressive win for him. Our boy Ian Heinisch beating Cesar Ferreira. Ian. Man, there's only one time I ever rooted against you, Ian. And it was against my boy Justin Sumner. I had Justin Sumner right here in studio a couple of weeks ago, guys, and we talked about his fight with Ian. This was a tough matchup for Justin Sumner on Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series. And the big thing, when you're in Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series, Jimmy Smith put it perfectly last night. You want to go in there and you want to make an impression right off the bat. You want to get a knockout. You want to get that holy shit moment reaction out of Dana White. Can you do that in the octagon, on the big stage, away from home, and against top-level talent? Can you do that? Ian fucking tried his hardest last night, and Cesar just was not going down. Somehow, Ian landed some great shots. I even had some notes here on it, but I'm not even going to go look for it. Just right off the rip, I have to say, round 1, 2, and 3, he just kept pouring it on. Very impressive win for Ian. And then afterwards, the post-fight speech, he starts talking to the Argentinian, the fans. Is that the right way? Argentinian sounds fucking really wrong, but honestly, that's the way to do it. You were taking out one of their home guys. And if there's one way to not receive boos, is to talk in their language. Jordan Hockley, hey, Eddie, who or what do you think is next for Marlon Vera? I'm excited to see what's next for Cheeto. Try to get him on the show at some point, and I definitely will. Let's take a look at that. That's a great point here. Let's bring up Marlon Chito Vera, who take out Guido Canetti last night, man. Submission by rear naked choke, round 2. In 1 minute and 31 seconds, climbing to 14-5 record. Marlon Vera, let's take a look at his record, man. Definitely a great fight last night for Marlon. Definitely leaving an impression, which is why I kept saying, like, the main card pulled through for the UFC. I was really worried during those prelims, man. You don't want decisions on your main card. So this is why you got people like Marlon on there. Let's take a look at Marlon's Vera record. All right, so he's on a 2-fight winning streak, coming off 2 losses before that against John Lineker and Douglas Andrade, 2 very tough opponents. But he has wins over Brad Pickett. Oh, my God. Do you guys remember the Brad Pickett fight? I believe that was Brad Pickett's last fight on his contract before he retired. I believe he actually came back. He's fighting for, like, ACB or something right now. But that was a fight where it's like Marlon Vera touches the hearts of everybody because his little girl at home, I believe, has some sort of disease. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember something like that. And in this fight, man, he came out of nowhere against Brad Pickett. Then he beats Brian Kelleher. Then the matchup up with John Lineker next. I was just like, oh shit, that's a tough fight for anybody in that division. And he goes all the way to a decision with them. So I was shocked. His 2 losses were 2 decisions. After that, man, the last 2 fights that he's had, he's getting finishes. He's finishing fighters. UFC 227 beating Beren and then Guido last night. Huge win. Huge win for Chito Vera. Who should he fight next is the question. That is a really good question. Let's take a quick look at the bantamweight division's top 10 talents here. I'm going to pull up the UFC app. Rest in peace to UFC Pick'em, which reminds me we are going to be announcing our Pick'em winners on today's show as we get towards the end. And guys, really quick, we're going to be rating this event. Comment right now in the comments what you thought last night deserved. The main card out of 10. So let's see here. Let's go to the bantamweight division. Weight classes. Bantamweight. Currently, the bantamweight division is kind of held up with TJ and Henry Cejudo. You know, TJ dropped down to 125 and in the division off right. All right, so top 10. TJ at champ. Cody No Love, still the #1 contender. Dominic Cruz at #2. And I really wish Dominic Cruz would fight Marlon. I think Marlon Moraes should be fighting Dominic Cruz. But Dominic doesn't want him, man. Rafael Sunsao at #3. This is a tough division. #4 is Marlon Magic Moraes. 5, Jimmy Rivera. 6, John Lineker. 7, Aljo. 8, John Dodson. And Dodson, man, do something with your hair, bro. You need a new pick. That's crazy. 9, Pedro Munoz. 10, Cody Stammen. 11, Rob Font. Now, I recently had Rob Font on the show a couple weeks ago. I would like to see that, man. Rob Font's coming off the loss to Rafael Sunsao, but before that, he beat Thomas Almeida. That would be a good one. I think Rob Font. Yeah, Rob Font, what is he? #11 ranked? Marlon Vera, Chito Vera, not even ranked, believe it or not. Ronnie Yaha at #15. Douglas Silva de Andrade, 14. 13, Thomas Almeida. Man, it's such a shame seeing Thomas Almeida in there and being at the very bottom of this weight division. If you told me in 2015, going to 2016, that we would see Thomas Almeida on the decline, and when I say decline, he only has 3 losses, 22-3 record. Man, those 3 losses definitely were 6 steps backwards for him. 3 losses in a row, or 2 losses in a row. Lost to Rob Font. Before that, Jimmy Rivera. 2 very, very tough opponents. So you can't take too much away. And then a loss to Cody Nola. All tough opponents. Thomas Almeida, #13. I think Thomas Almeida should not be there. I think Thomas Almeida versus Aljo, John Dodson, those are all great fights. But Rob Font versus Marlon Vera, that is a fight to book right there. And you can get in the top 15, Marlon, if you can take out Rob Font. That would be a very, very exciting fight. So there's my answer for that. For the bantamweight division, man, there's some good contenders that we got so far. So Michael Angelo, nice guitar, Eddie. Yeah, that's actually my acoustic guitar, all refurbished. I actually just got a new electric guitar this week with Yamaha. $20 I got it for. I paid $40 to get it refurbished, cleaned up, and working on this EP. But nothing better than watching fights, ripping guitar, and getting ready for this recap show for the next day. But yeah, you guys can check out some of my music down below here on the playlist on YouTube. But let's move forward with the fight here, with the fight card. 14-5 record, Marlon Vera versus Rob Font. Let me know what you think about that on Instagram or Twitter at Evil_Echo. That's EVIL_ECCO. Also on Instagram at PureEvilMMA_. So let's go back here because I was talking about Cynthia for just a quick second. And I was also talking about how you have to ride that momentum. You want to ride that horse. Cynthia Calvillo, training at Faber's Gym, came out of nowhere in 2016? Let's take a look at her record. 7-1 record. So let's see. So yeah, the win last night via rear naked choke. Her last loss to Carla Esparza in a decision was the last fight. And that's when we saw her take a big break. She had a lot going on in her life. She even cried in the octagon last night after the fight, which touches my heart because it was such a pure moment. She was full of adrenaline, full of excitement. This win meant so much to her. You could tell. And if you're in the octagon, you don't want to cry, but it was so pure. Her reaction, the fans cheering for her, There's nothing better than that. I say this all the time. Life gives us these tiny, small windows. You have to cherish those windows because they close so quick. They close so quick. So moments like that I hold close. And you got to get behind Cynthia, man. After everything that she's been through, clearly her grandfather was a huge part in her life. You know, I'm Italian. Cynthia, obviously, with her ethnicity, another culture that keeps family at number one. This was a huge win for her. And it was nice to see her come back because she is a threat to this division. And we will see her at the championship spot very soon. I think if the UFC, you look at somebody like this, she's getting finishes. Beat JoJo Calderwood, beat Pearl Gonzalez, Amanda Bobby Cooper, Montana Del Rosa, Jillian Robertson. I mean, Jillian Robertson beat Meatball. Montana Del Rosa did an amazing job on The Ultimate Fighter. Amanda Bobby Cooper, she's a threat. Pearl Gonzalez, she's making a big name for herself right now in Invicta. She had a setback after that fight with Pearl Gonzalez, and that was an interesting matchup. Cynthia versus Pearl, I was torn that night. Cynthia got the win moving forward, then beats JoJo Calderwood, which I will be honest with you guys. I scored that fight for JoJo. I thought JoJo did enough to win the fight, but things didn't work out in the judges' minds the way they worked out in my mind. And then she had the loss to Carla Esparza. But back on top here with the win over Paulina Botello via rear naked choke in the very first round. Huge, huge, huge win for Cynthia. And what weight class is she in? She is strawweight. So let's take a look at the strawweight division and let's play matchmaker really quick. Because there are some interesting matchups that I would like to see Cynthia in. But I say she was a strawweight female. Strawweight division. You got Rose Namajunas at the top. Joanna Jędrzejczyk at number 1. And she's going to be fighting Valentina Shevchenko, which I'm excited for that. Jessica Andrade, number 2 contender. Claudia, number 3. For Tatiana Suarez. And I really believe Tatiana Suarez will be the next champ. If there's anyone here, Tatiana or Jessica Andrade, those are my 2 picks for next in line. Karolina Kowalkiewicz at 5. Tisha Torres at 6. Michelle Waterson at 7. Carla Esparza at 8. Number 9, Felice Herrig. 10, Cast Iron Courtney Casey. 11, Nina Ansaroff. 12, Alexa Grasso. 13, Randa Marcos. 14, Angela Hill. And 15, Mackenzie Dern. That's a good division right there. The strawweight division has some great potential matchups for Cynthia Calvillo, who currently is not on the rankings right now. So who should she get matched up against? Maybe Alexa Grasso. What do you guys think about that? Number 12, Randa Marcos. I would Angela Hill. That would be interesting. Angela Hill versus Cynthia Calvillo. I wouldn't have her fight Mackenzie Dern. That would be a really tough fight. Courtney Casey, no. Felice Herrig, no. Carla Esparza, she already lost to. See, as you go up, it's going to get harder and harder, clearly. In this division, man, it really is stacked. But I would like to see her. Alexa Grasso, have her have that fight, man. I'm down for that fight. Let's get it. Let's see what you guys are saying here in the chat room about it. Who the hell would you like to see her fight? Eddie, I was real concerned about Calvillo. She missed weight and looked a little sick. I'm glad she won. Mike, I'm so happy you put that on. It's so funny how quick we forget. And it's not funny how fighters are doing this over and over again. I'm glad I brought up Jillian Robertson, because up until this year, fighters were going on a crazy win streak after missing weight and only giving up 20% of the purse. Jillian Robertson went in there and took out Meatball Molly McCann after she missed weight by, 8 pounds or something crazy? 5 pounds? I forgot exactly how much weight she missed it by. But it's so funny, and it's really not funny at all, how fighters can go in there and miss weight. The next day, yeah, they bring it up. But if you get the win, it doesn't matter. You got the win. We're talking about who's next. You're moving forward. You're not moving backwards. You go in there. You have an advantage. It's upsetting, man. It's upsetting to see that. And unfortunately, I would say to a fighter, if your opponent misses weight, I know that you put all this work in. I know you're going to get 20% of their purse, but is it worth it? Is it worth it to take that chance? It's not in my eyes. It's not fair. Something needs to change there. After 25 years, how is this shit still going on? And is 20% of the purse enough? I mean, as a fighter, you're losing 20% of your purse. Yeah, that's 20%. If you're only fighting once a year, fuck. You need that 20%. But it's on you to make weight. But then again, how are these fighters moving forward and potentially going to be getting, ranked opponents next if you're missing weight? And you're not even, when you come to the UFC, I mean, there's no answer to it. It's just disgusting to see that fighters are missing weight. And we're sitting here praising them for the win. I mean, yeah, Cynthia, she went through a lot. Kind of contradicting myself, but I'm really glad Michael Angelone brought that up, because it's so funny how quickly we forget about it. And there's no punishment. Fighters who go in there and miss weight, they have such an advantage there. And it's not fair. So I'm glad Michael Angelone brought that up. Let's see what else you guys are saying in the chat room here. Kevin from Chicago. Tatiana is a nightmare matchup for all of them. 100% agree with you, man, because she is going to be the champ by the end of 2019. Mark my words. Rose Namajunas versus Tatiana Suarez. Just play that out in your mind for a second. I'm pumped for that. I am pumped for that. Tatiana, another girl. Great story of overcoming obstacles life just throws in her way. This girl overcame cancer. She was the #1 female wrestler in America for her age range and the weight class. And she had to take it. She had to take a huge break. She had to take a step back because the world just threw a curveball and put her into a corner. And it's so interesting to see how people deal with stuff like that. Like, even currently, like right now, we're talking about Cynthia. When something happens, you lose somebody, or you go through a breakup, or you break your leg. How do you come back from that? Or you're going to be nervous about it the entire time. Like, all these things, it's so amazing to see people overcome life's hurdles. When the world gets you cornered, how do you shimmy out of it? Tatiana Suarez has done that, and she has such an amazing story. I would love to see her get a title shot this upcoming year, man. Top 5 fighter. There's a lot of great female fights that we can be looking forward to, guys. I am pumped for the female divisions. I know that we rag on it sometimes. We're a little upset that they got rid of, the flyweight division for the men. We're like, oh, why do they open up the featherweight division? Well, there's not even females there. Why do we open up this division? There are some potential good matchups in some of the divisions for the females. Reminds me, shout out to Invicta FC. Shout out to our boy Elias Theodoro, ring boy. All right, let's see what else you guys are saying. I love that you guys are going in on the chat. Kevin from Chicago is giving it a 7.5 for last night's card. Eddie, I was real concerned about Carvalho. All cultures keep family #1. I agree, man. With their talents especially, man. I don't know. I can just relate to how she felt there. Dos Santos went through a bad breakup when he fought Kane. I like that. I like that you brought that up, because that's another thing. It's so distracting. I made a post on my Facebook today. I have so many friends and people in my life that they're just toxic to be around. Like, they might not be drug addicts or bad people, but their mindsets and the way that they talk and speak about you and what you do, or even like right now, I'm a slut. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a slut. I love women. There's nothing better than having girls here on fight night. There really isn't. I love entertaining women, but it's fucking distraction. When you are chasing your goals, especially if you're in the UFC, or you're just trying to break down walls and chase your dream, you need to be very careful with distractions like that. Being in a relationship was a huge setback for me the last couple of years. And when I went through my breakup, you guys were right there being like, the fuck, Ed? Like, why are you doing this to us? And it's so hard to concentrate, focus on anything when you have all this bullshit on your mind. So I love those kind of stories with fighters, and it's another reason why I love mixed martial arts. To see them literally have to go in there and fight and overcome, it's something else, man. It gets me going. I love that aspect about it. And you may see it little bits here and there in other sports, but every 15 minutes we get two new contenders in a fight in MMA, and every one of those guys and girls have a story, and I love looking into them. And when they get their moments to shine, that's what it's all about, people. That's what it's all about. That's what we're here for. All right, so let's pick our fight of the night here. I think we've done enough talking on this card. I mean, honestly, the main event, it was legit. Ponzinibbio, give him a top 5 contender there. Ricardo Lamas beating Darren Elkins. Huge win for Ricardo Lamas. Darren Elkins not taking a step back. Tough son of a B. He is so hard to finish. So let's give Ricardo Lamas a thumbs up on there to get the TKO ground and pound in the 3rd round. Johnny Walker, I think he takes the cake, honestly. Let me bring you guys in the topology. I think Johnny Walker easily takes the cake last night of leaving the biggest mark on all of us. He's a character too, man, which if you listen to Pure Evil MMA a lot, you know how I break down the whole entertainment aspect. Not only do you got to go in there and finish a fight, but you have to be your own promoter. You can be your own worst enemy, or you can be your own best friend, best promoter. Johnny Walker, we got our eyes on you, man. Ian, I messaged Ian. I'm going to try to get him on tonight's show. Guys, tonight, live, 8 to 10 p.m., we're going to have a couple of fighters call in, trying to get Chaz Skelly, who fought last weekend. I did speak to him, waiting for him to message me back. Also, I messaged Ian, so maybe he even messaged me back. I'm going to go check that out in just a couple of minutes here. But I would love to have him on the show tonight, because even though it went to decision, that was a very exciting fight. And coming off Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series against Justin Sumner and finishing him like that, how do you go to the UFC and leave a mark there? You go to a decision, fans aren't going to like that. But you have a high output fight like he did last night. I mean, he dropped Ferreira a couple of times in that fight, man. That was a big win for Ian. So I would love to have him on the show. So yeah, thumbs up for him. Maybe not 50K deserving. Marlon Vera, submission via rear naked choke. I give him our top 3 here. Cynthia Calvillo making the win, coming back. But misses weight, so we got to take that away. I got to say, guys, number 1 fight, Johnny Walker. He's getting my thumbs up here for Pure Evil MMA. We're going to be rating the card in just a second. But before we do that, we're going to head over to Minion. And he's going to be bringing you guys through our winners for the Pure Evil MMA Empire. So let me pull that up really quick for everybody. Give me 1 second here. And guys, give me a thumbs up down below. If you like these recap shows, if you're enjoying them and you want more, give me a thumbs up. Give me the thumbs up and show me what you want. Give me a thumbs up and throw me what you want. All right, let me get it here. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in on podcasts, because 2,000 downloads this month, man. It means the world. If that fires me up, that keeps me going. All right, let's pull it in here. The Pure Evil MMA Crystal Skull winners. Let's get it. Exclusive to the Pure Evil MMA Army, by the way. By the way. Let's get it, bro. You know, this is why I need a Mac. This is why I need a MacBook. Because this shit, way too slow sometimes. Let's go. Let's play. Let's play. Let's go. You're fucking my show up, PC. PC, I'm not going to be able to keep it PC with you in a second.
down in the octagon for our entertainment, each hoping to...
Sorry about that, guys. Let's start that over.
Since 1993, MMA fighters from all over the world have gone into battle, shedding blood, sweat and tears to prove that they are worthy of holding the title of champion. At every UFC event, as the fighters throw down in the octagon for our entertainment, each hoping to validate that they are the best by someday having a UFC belt strapped around their waist. A second competition rages amongst the Pure Evil army for the right to lay claim to the prestigious Crystal Skull belt, for ultimate pick-em bragging rights over their evil brothers and sisters in arms. And this week, after climbing their way to the top of the Pure Evil ranks, the prominent honours of the Crystal Skull are awarded to...
Alright guys, so in first place we got Iceman back on top, Iceman official. In second, Tap Out Ninja, which is our boy Jordan. In third place, Chillzone95, our girl Ann. In fourth, Barry. Shout out to Barry, who's on vacation right now. He was just in Disneyland sharing pictures. I love him. In fifth, it's your boy, Evil Eddie. And in sixth, Wicked World. Seventh, Maltz World, tied with seventh. Also Scott, Misty in ninth. James came in 10th. 11 is Leslie. That does it for the Pure Evil MMA Pick'em League. I'm so happy that it's back. So shout out to Tapology for bringing it back, because I was missing our boy Iceman. I was missing Iceman an awful lot. Now he's back, and he takes the Crystal Skull right back into his possessions. And I think we should get like a real Crystal Skull. Like at the end of the year, whoever wins, they should get an actual Crystal Skull and hold on to it till the end of the year, till they have to give it up to the next person who lays claim to the prestigious Pure Evil MMA army. I have so much fun doing this. Thank you guys so much for everyone that engages on the Pure Evil MMA chat room, which is exclusive on Twitter. If you want to join the chat room, you can send me a DM on evil_echo. I have gotten a couple of messages, but I have to be really, it has to be really exclusive, because we only want people that actually talk about MMA, that share news, that are going to engage and just have a good time without drama. That's one thing that really set me back for a while. It really turned me off to the chat room thing. There was just so much drama going on. We unite under one roof on Twitter for one reason and one reason only. It's because everyone has shit going on in their lives, whether it's your work, your boss yelling at you, whether you're stepping in dog shit on the way inside, whether, you know, if you're 16 years old and your parents are screaming at you to clean your room, whatever it is, we all escape to our MMA family to escape the drama, not look for it, not cause it. So that was a huge setback. And right now we have an amazing group. So if you guys do want to join, you want to play along with us on Pick'em, have your name announced here on Pure Evil MMA, it is possible. Send me a DM. I'll review your profile, and as long as you're engaging and talking about MMA, you have a great shot at joining the next event. But big shout out to Iceman. Let's rate the card. For me, what makes a good card? A perfect card. You guys got to keep in mind, this was a free card. We didn't have to pay a single dollar for it. At the beginning of the podcast, you heard what I say about the prelims. Not the most exciting. When fights go to decision, it's kind of a turn-off. It kind of tires you out. And last night, when the fight went till 1 a.m., there was one thing that kept me going. It's finishes. And if your co-main event and your main event aren't getting finishes, it's hard to give you anything above a 6. I think this card, between seeing Johnny Walker go in there and just really leave a mark, Lamas leaving a mark, Ponzinibbio doing what he did to Neil Magny, Ian getting the decision finished, but just being a brutal monster all 3 rounds. I give this card a solid 7 out of 10. That is my rank. 7 out of 10. I think that is fair, because you got to remember, it's free. And Cynthia Calvillo, I feel a little bad about, kind of ragging on her. Man, you can't be missing weight Let's check one more time with the chat room. Michelangelo, whatever you do, don't ever get a HP laptop. I think that's actually what I got. Hold on. I think that's what I am using. Yes, unfortunately, that's what I'm using. I am using an HP right now, and that is why I think. But you know what? I can rag on it all I want right now, but it's been with me for the past couple of years, and it's gotten us through some amazing interviews. I've had no real issues with it, besides just being a little slow here and there, and that's because every show I save is a couple gigabytes, and there's how many shows have I done now in interviews? There's probably 1,000 videos that I got to go through and delete and archive some of them, put some of them on the cloud. But for an HP, it's actually not that bad, but I really want a MacBook. Really, really bad. Please, Santa. Please, please, Santa. All I want is a MacBook. That's all I want. All right, guys, let's end today's show. I'm Evil Eddie from Pure Evil MMA. Subscribe down below if you enjoyed this recap, where we relive the best and worst moments of the night. Last but not least, guys, white knuckles to the end. Behave yourselves.